I wish you could have seen I think it's Julia's look on her face during that. She was like, it was so good. It was so good. I was at a class this week with our music director, Allison, and I learned a new way to say amen, or say that you like something, that you have permission to do when I am speaking or after, all right? So I'm gonna have you practice it with me. It's called, oh yeah. So are you ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah!
Yeah! All right. So I just wanted to teach you a new way to respond, because sometimes as humans we don't have enough ways that are appropriate, and I really enjoyed that one this week. And sometimes people need nurturing or understanding, and clearly this woman wants some nurturing. She wants someone to say, oh yeah, I get what you're saying, right? So, have you like either of these two people? Either one? Oh yeah. You're getting it, yeah. All right. Have you ever had a conversation where you just wanted to vent to someone, and on the other hand, they seem intent on solving your problem? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course you have. We all have. Maybe you have even been the person trying to solve the problem, right? The end result is almost always frustration on both sides of the conversation, and everyone leaves feeling dissatisfied with what just transpired. So any day celebrating parents is one to examine how we all nurture. And this service came as a request of the worship team and some other feedback that I got, where people wanted to know how to be pastoral to one another. These nurturing skills we can all learn. They are all basics of pastoral care. They start with curiosity, observation, listening, compassion. Those are all keys to nurturing. So repeat after me, don't solve. Don't solve. Yes. Observe, and then inquire if what you are observing is the same as that person's view of the situation. In doing chaplaincy or pastoral care to congregants, I always kind of look at the members of the parties and I try to ascertain what's going on. It's become this little game I play, right? I think I know, I think I'm so smart, right? So I try to silently guess who the players are and what the issues are gonna be and, you know, what they might be feeling. I'm guessing in my head, which means I'm not listening. And so sometimes I've gained insights from that, but I want to tell you the truth is so often something totally different than what I guessed, right? The thing I think that should be bothering them is not what's bothering them, right? Like the nail, right? It's something more complex usually. A nurturer asks questions. Now, I want you to know, I see those of you who are looking like, she's wrong, I'm just gonna solve it for them, right? I see, there's some bug eyes in the, I get it. I know. Stay with me, please. So, who is here with you, I could ask? How do you know them? What do you think's happening in your life? How are you experiencing that you're telling me about? What's the experience like for you? And so as you inquire, try to be a non-anxious presence. That means you don't put yourself in it. Come on, it's the nail. It's the nail. No. You just say, okay, I'm noticing that you seem really upset. I'm noticing that you're telling me about pain. That sounds really hard. I'm noticing you have a nail in your forehead. How is that for you? Right? That's how you show up calm and emotionally present. That's how you are free from anxiety, and it engenders trust. See, you can have the best answer in the world, and if they don't trust you and feel like you're getting them, they're not going to listen to you. Some wonder how I handle things when people are super upset or when things are very bad, when there's a real emergency, and I try to stay super duper calm. In fact, the bigger the crisis, the calmer I get. My calm is the first thing that helps them. If I go, oh my God, it's terrible, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? I don't calm them. I don't make the situation better. I'm the person I can control. Me. I'm the one that can make it different by controlling my reaction, me. So my presence is the first gift that I'm going to give. So healthy nurturing is a way of sitting alongside someone. Maybe I'll ask them to breathe with me. Would you mind? Would you like to have a few breaths with me? Should we take a breath together? Maybe it's sending someone a card. Maybe it's making a gift or a meal. You want to match the needs they have by asking permission. Would you like me to make you lunch? Rather than when something happens to people and everyone goes, how can I help? When I'm really upset, I have no idea. Now, some of you know I'm leaving tomorrow to go on a trip to take my son for a big operation. And a colleague of mine heard about that. I haven't seen her in like 4 years. And she said, did you know I live in Philadelphia? And I said, no, where I'm going. And she said, would you like it if I brought you a meal that wasn't takeout? Would you like it if I sat with you during the surgery? Or would you like it if I offered you a ride while you're there? I was like, oh, yes, right? Oh, yeah. Offering the possibilities of what you can do is one of those other gifts without making them have to think about it. It's also a way you set up boundaries, right? This is what I can do. You know, I can't drive you, but I could pray for you. I can't go with you to that appointment, but I could hold a meditation and light a candle. Would you like that? Oh, okay. Or, no, please don't do that. I don't believe in that. It's okay. So that's a way you show that you're actually letting them have some control, and giving people some control of their situation when they're upset is another way to calm. So I know a mistake I continually work on is not doing something called naming their feelings. You must be very upset. Are you really upset? Or are you feeling some other way? How are you feeling about that? I let them put it in their words, right? Instead of, I see you're crying, they're like, thanks, right? It's a start, but I could say, I see tears. Tell me what's bringing the tears? What's under the tears? If I simply said, you are hurting because you have a nail in your head, like he tried to do, right? I would have assumed that they wanted me to solve their problem and irritated us both, right? Because now I can get mad that they're not listening to me, right? How many of you go, I have told my sister, my mother, my brother, my friend, my neighbor, I've told them over and over, all they have to do is get their stuff in order and arrive early, and they won't have these problems anymore, right? Right? Oh, yes. I mean, come on, what could be bigger than a nail in the head, right? Well, let's think about that. Like, we just want to take the nail out, right? What could it be? Maybe someone put the nail in their head. Whoa, that's a whole other situation, right? What if she's being harmed? What if she puts a nail in her head every day? The story could be totally different, right? Removing the nail won't fix any of those problems as much as you think it would. You might feel better, but she might not. The person in the video, as well as most folks you are called to nurture, are not looking for a solution to the problem. We are all looking for a supportive ear. We all want to feel seen and heard and understood. And to be nurturing by giving emotional support, the woman in the video needs to get her feelings out. She needs trust built so that she would tell you if some other awful situation was going on, right? And by pushing the issue, he's actually pushing her into a more defensive stance. He's making her not feel like she can trust him. When he finally says, wow, that must be so hard, she softens. We saw it in her body language, right? She softens. So we can give nurturing with our presence. We do not have to solve something. How do we even know our way is the right way? Now, if you're thinking, of course my way is the right way, this sermon's for you. Would you like to be listened to, or would you like to be a partner and I could help you brainstorm solutions? What would be helpful to you right now? I just need you to listen. Okay. She was looking for a witness to her feelings. And so this is an example of something psychologists like to call the righting reflex. It's this reflective action to try to help another person by proving solutions to their problems, providing solutions to their problems, even if it's not the right solution, or even if the person's not wanting a solution or not in a position. Now, honestly, my own mother, who's not watching, might have done this 100 times, right? Maybe you've had a mom or a parent or a best friend or someone who will run down a list of solutions to something that I don't even think is my problem, or I've already dealt with that. They've jumped in with their own agenda, or maybe I've jumped in with my agenda. Now you might be thinking, Rev D, if I don't tell them what to do, how will they get through life? They need me. I've got it, right? How many of you love having other people tell you what to do? While the righting reflex comes from a caring place, the end result is that it can push someone away from actually making a change to the situation being discussed. You don't even have to be a teenager to want to spite the person coming in with their good advice, right? You don't like it when they tell you what to do, right? Girl Scouts, yo, me, yeah. Right? Do you like it when people tell you what to do? No. So even that last scene of the video, when it's obvious, even more painfully obvious, that the nail is the problem, when the man was starting to say it, she turned away in frustration and was refusing to even hear or acknowledge there was an issue. She's not ready to do something about the nail. Mentioning it only serves to push her further and further away. And she clearly wants him to listen to her. The nail becomes his problem, not hers. So to be nurturing is sometimes a lot more simple than we think it could possibly be. So demonstrate that you understood the person. Sure, it's awful when you feel pressure. That is so horrible that you're experiencing that. Sometimes it helps them to have you kind of verbalize what you're hearing. You are really upset right now. I can see this is really bothering you. Wow, that is complicated. You don't have to solve for the person you want to nurture. You know what will happen if you don't solve? It's a B word. Boundaries. Boundaries is what will happen. You will be able to differentiate yourself and your responsibilities from them, and they the same. So having a clear identity separate from the person you want to nurture is indeed loving. You also can say, I'm not sure how to help, but I will be with you through this pain you are in if you want me to be. Or I can leave you alone right now and give you some space and check back from time to time. What would be helpful? Oh, I'd like you to check back. Don't then stay sitting there. Get up, all right? Do what you said you would do. Do that thing. Being nurturing means listening with your whole soul. It means opening your hands and your body language, setting your phone and other distractions aside, and then holding their story in great care. I can't tell you how much I am able to learn about someone when I give them my whole presence, and it is hard to do, right? There's a little acronym. Lisa's back there today. She loves it when I have these little tricks. So it's called OARS, O-A-R-S. For listening, ask open-ended questions. O, you can take notes. A, affirmations. That sounds really hard. Reflections. Gosh, I don't know what I would do either if I was in that situation. And summaries. OARS. Open-ended questions, affirmations, reflections, and summaries. Each one of these can help. Open-ended questions encourage the other person to give more information and leads them to be reflective of their own situation. It also engages their brain. This is neuroscience. If someone is like kind of being kind of bananas with their reaction, right? I'm thinking it's not that you didn't like how the order of service was folded. There's something else going on here, right? Or whatever they're coming to me with. I might say, what is it about the order of service that you think was bothering you? Does that remind you of anything? Then they solve their own problem. Good nurturing doesn't touch people who don't want to be touched. Don't assume that they want to hug or that you should touch their knee or their back. Ask people first. People who hold trauma, which is most of us, especially need to feel empowered. If you touch them without asking them if they want that, they may suddenly shut down, or they may wonder why you're touching them. It might not communicate any of the nice thing that you thought it would. It's especially awful if people surprise you with it. I can't tell you as a minister how many people will come up behind me and put their hand on my shoulder or something, or rub my back, and I'm like, it happens to women a lot. It happens to people with marginalized identities. Think of how often it happens to children, right? Right? I see some big head nods. People come up and they think they can touch the children, right? When I was touching Connor and Finley, right, I was going like this, trying to get them to give me the nod that it was okay. So when I counseled folks who were struggling with how to handle a pregnancy that wasn't viable when I was at Planned Parenthood, I often really wanted to put my hand on their arm. But I'd always ask, would it be comforting to you if I held your hand or touched your arm? And some were very clear that they rejected all touch. And others wanted me to full-on hug them and hold my hand. Each person was different, and I needed to honor that and honor their bodies and make trust. So being consistent was really key. So if none of this advice sounds like what you do, trust me, I hear you. It took me a long time to learn this. I used to feel really awkward trying on these pastoral and nurturing behaviors. Nurturing can be learned, even if it is not how your family treated you, even if it's different from how you have parented. So this is an opportunity and a wondering today if you can nurture a new way. This is an invitation. Muscles need repetition, they need exercise. And so today, as you go off to get calls from loved ones or you make calls, I challenge you not to fix or solve. I challenge you not to fix or solve, but to witness and listen. When you create a boundary between you and what is yours to address and what is theirs to figure out, your relationships will be easier. You will sleep better at night. So, as you go, don't fix or solve, because the funny thing about nurturing is that we get an opportunity to love someone by putting them in charge. They're the one in pain. They don't need you to fix it for them. They need to feel empowered that they can figure it out themselves. And nothing is more long-lasting in helping those you love to claim their own resilience. Blessed be your caring and nurturing.